It's the face of Nicolas Maduro, that proud, lively man, the one we used to see dancing, and now he looked downcast, intimidated. That's how he is today.
It turns out we already had Nicolas Maduro's first trial, and the guy was totally humiliated, to the point that, please, pay attention. The minimum sentence for Nicolas Maduro and Cilia Flores is 30 years. Maduro would get out at 93 years old, and Cilia Flores would get out at 99 years old. And keep in mind, that's the minimum sentence, just so you understand, they're finished. In fact, someone here is telling us Maduro's lawyer is taking a beating. Nicolas Maduro and Cilia Flores are having a really hard time, and judging by how the trial is going, it's going to get even worse for them. We celebrate that, guys. In this video, we're going to see a big part of the humiliation that Nicolas Maduro suffered in his trial. So get ready, because we're going to enjoy it. Let's begin. Total scandal in New York. Nicolas Maduro's lawyer has just pleaded before a New York federal court to dismiss the entire case against him. What's the reason? The same dictator who looted Venezuela for years is now crying because he can't pay for his defense, with the Venezuelan people's money blocked by sanctions. What a shame. The man who destroyed a country, left millions in misery, and is accused of being a drug trafficker. Now he's playing the victim in a US court because they won't let him use public funds for his lawyer. After stealing everything, now he expects the system he criticized so much to give him special treatment. American justice doesn't stop for these games. The case goes on. And of course, even Donald Trump has already addressed this topic. And Nicolas Maduro didn't come out looking good. Donald Trump claims that Nicolas Maduro will face more legal charges in the future. Maduro, prosecuted for being a drug trafficker and other crimes, pleaded not guilty. Big mistake. According to Trump, the authorities plan to add new charges as the case progresses. Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, appear before a judge in New York for the second time since his arrest in January. Let's listen to a bit of what Trump said. Subtitles on screen.
Dangerous man who's brought a lot of people, forced people into our country. Incredible. He emptied his prisons in Venezuela, emptied his prisons into our country, and I hope that charge will be brought at some point, because that was a big charge that hasn't been brought yet. It should be brought. He emptied his prisons into our country and was a major purveyor of drugs coming into our country.
Well guys, everything went really badly for Maduro. In fact, we're being told breaking news here. Maduro's trial in New York. After the second hearing ended, the judge was clear. He will not dismiss the charges against him, which keeps the case he is facing in place. This was exactly what his defense was requesting. Incredible. In fact, here's some breaking news. Sketches from the second hearing against Nicolas Maduro. Point number 1. The charges remain in effect for being a drug trafficker, conspiracy to import coke, and I'm not talking about Coca-Cola, and possession of weapons of war. The judge rejected the defense's request to dismiss the charge. During the hearing, Maduro appeared visibly nervous, looking thinner and diminished. Well, we already know that Nicolas Maduro lost 13 kilos. Here we're going to see the drawings of Maduro. Just look at this criminal. Take a good look at him. Incredible. Here next to him is Cilia Flores. Here is the lawyer. Impressive. Well, that's how the guy looked. They say he was haggard, extremely thin. Cilia Flores. By the way, they describe her as expressionless. Look, I think Cilia Flores honestly must have been completely defeated at that moment. Cilia Flores knows she's screwed. Nicolas Maduro, I think he has that, how can I explain it? Nicolas Maduro kind of believes or thinks he's gonna get away with it. Obviously that's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. But Nicolas Maduro still believes that he still has some chance, some possibility, some opportunity, and that he's going to return to Venezuela. I'm sure Nicolas Maduro thinks so it's crazy. That's why the guy was extremely nervous, waiting and wondering, no, how will it go for me? What's going to happen? And Cilia Flores, expressionless, because she already knows she's going to spend the rest of her life in prison. And look, here they're telling us, I asked Gemini to give me a realistic image of Maduro based on the drawing. And damn, look at this, guys. This is how Nicolas Maduro looked during the trial, totally deteriorated, much thinner. No, 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 look at this bracelet here on his arm. Incredible. It's completely crazy. And I think Venezuelans must be here, they tell us. A sketch made by an artist present at Nicolas Maduro's second hearing in the Manhattan courthouse. During his trial for being a drug trafficker, it showed the former dictator looking thin, dressed as a prisoner, and visibly deteriorated as a result of his imprisonment. Also, let's remember that Nicolas Maduro spends every night in prison shouting that he is the president. And hopefully this criminal will spend the rest of his life shouting in prison. In fact, they're telling us here, medical exams have been authorized for Cilia Flores, the wife of Nicolas Maduro. Her lawyer requested this Thursday before the judge that his client undergo medical exams in New York. At the hearing, the defense attorney explained that Cilia Flores suffers from a heart condition and requires an urgent electrocardiogram, in addition to care for the injuries she allegedly suffered during her capture, meaning her injuries have not been treated. Unbelievable. But anyway, she's a criminal now. Obviously, these criminals in the United States have rights. Therefore, they approved it. And Cilia Flores will get medical exams because apparently she urgently needs them. Now, I want to show you this look, guys, this Nicolas Maduro doll. Yes, it turns out there were many Venezuelans outside where the trial was held who opposed Maduro. To make fun of him, they brought this doll. Let's see what Mate Comote tells us about this. Maduro the prisoner. They made a doll to mock him outside the court in New York, New York.
Jorge Torrealba has installed a new art piece right in front of the Southern District Court in New York, where he is expected to appear this Thursday, March 26, for his second hearing in his narco-terrorism trial.
Maduro the prisoner.
Very good, Nicolas Maduro. This is about this creation, this work, this 3-meter doll, Maduro the prisoner with his orange jumpsuit and a ripe plantain around his neck. And handcuffed, not with a banana.
He saw a guy in a banana there, a really good handcuffed one.
It has been installed in the park in front of the district court.
That fruit for sure was given to him by Didi on that occasion when he was feeling romantic. But anyway, pay attention to this.
Listen to this fake Venezuelan who was asking for Maduro's freedom.
Can you speak English? Is it possible or not? Excuse me.
But do you have a Venezuelan flag, man? I mean,
He doesn't even seem to speak Spanish or not very well.
you should speak Spanish because in Venezuela people speak Spanish. And what if you're protesting?
I mean, these people were protesting outside where Maduro was during the hearing.
Because of something that's happening in Venezuela, I think it affects you because you're Venezuelan,
Not talking with Venezuelans.
When talking with Venezuelans, of course he's not Venezuelan. So this man in Venezuela,
And they tell me that,
I have a friend who told me that Maduro was good. That means
Nicolas Maduro and Cilia Flores are theirs.
well, did your Chavista friend lie to you?
Is this crazy or what? Just as there were Venezuelans protesting against Nicolas Maduro, in the same place there were people, none of whom were Venezuelan, protesting in favor of Nicolas Maduro, protesting and demanding the release of that criminal. Simply ridiculous. So gentlemen, thank you very much and see you next time.